After almost 3 decades, Matthew Perry, or the top-beloved Chandler, has finally revealed who broke his heart and causing him to come close to death. Hi guys, welcome to Review Movie channel. If you like our content, please hit the subscribe button for more. Today's video a bit disturbing, especially for those who are fans of Chandler being the well-known character of the series Friends, or Matthew Perry himself in the real world. And you will probably be a little upset and of course surprised, because what I'm about to tell you now is probably the first time that you will hear it. Anyone who's a fan of the series Friends is somehow familiar with Matthew Perry's problems, or at least heard what it's like. Because Matthew Perry has been heavily addicted to alcohol and pills and things that take him out of the real world. He has been heavily involved in all of these, and even in some seasons it was clear that Matthew was not well. He had lost a lot of weight and it was clear that he was not normal at all. And everyone, both their cast and the viewers, noticed this, and everyone was worried about him. And in all these years, different news agencies have talked about the story. The members of the series themselves have talked about the story. Matthew Perry himself has spoken, but guys, this is the first time that Matthew Perry announced a few months ago that he was in love with someone and his heart was broken. And this incident gave him the final blow that he even came close to death. Matthew Perry's love has been none other than Jennifer Aniston. That is, in all these years that I have followed them, I could not have guessed such a thing at all. Well, it seems that Matthew Perry was in love with Jennifer Aniston and he went and told her, and Jennifer rejected him, and well, the situation has become very bad for Matthew. And when Jennifer Aniston enters into a relationship with Brad Pitt, Matthew Perry is traumatized and his mental state worsens because of this process. And now, even though such an offer has been made to Jennifer and Jennifer has turned it down, Jennifer has not been indifferent to Matthew. And among all these actors and cast members of Friends, she is the first to realize the Matthew's problem. And she also helps him to be able to pull himself out of it. And Matthew has talked a lot about his dark period of his life, and one of the things that he talked about was the final sequence of the series. He said that when they set the last cut and the last sequence was over, everyone started crying, and he said that even Jennifer cried so much that she had hiccups. And yet Matthew felt nothing. It is not clear that it was because of the large amount of drugs in his body or that he was broken from the inside. For whatever reason, he felt nothing. And you should also know that in that filming scene, he was in a very bad condition emotionally. Imagine being in love with someone who rejected you and then go and get into a relationship with Brad Pitt, whom everyone loved and who was God himself at the time. Of course, he still is, but well, his activity has decreased a lot, and at the time, he was at the peak. And then if you leave all this aside, what you may or may not know is that Ross and Rachel of this series, who were in love with each other, really had a crush on each other in the real world. And in the renewal of Friends, they themselves admitted this matter. That they had a crush on each other, and because they were both in other relationships, these two never got into a relationship with each other. And imagine, you're Matthew Perry, and you're in love with someone, and Brad Pitt is still. But she has another crush on the set. And how hard it is to want to be with that person you love every day, but she doesn't love you back. Go to work and see her every day and work together and keep your feelings to yourself. And how bad it feels. The person feels weak, invisible, and insecure. In my opinion, he had a really bad situation. And Matthew himself announced in one of his interviews that it was really difficult for him to work in that environment. Because he had to keep pretending that he didn't love Jennifer, pretending that he was fine, and that he didn't need anything, and that he was okay, and this was very difficult for him. And of course, Matthew's mental and psychological problems and addiction are not all related to his love failure with Jennifer. Matthew has been carrying these mental problems with him since long ago. And even when he reads the script, he himself says, "Give me the role of Chandler. Chandler is me. The character he has in the script is me." And he himself requests to be given this role. And Chandler has had these mental and emotional problems for as long as he can remember. And he himself said that I always wanted to be seen, I wanted to be cared of. And he has said that he always had this bad feeling of being insecure and lacking in attention. And this bothered him. By the way guys, because this sitcom has viewers and the laughter you hear is the voice of the viewers, when he saw that they didn't laugh at him, he really felt like dying. Matthew has also stated that since he was born, it seems like he was born with problems. And he was colicky and crying a lot. Well, his family took him to the doctor and the doctor prescribed some pills for him to take to ease his stomach pain. And those who have children know what colic is. And since then, with the medicine that was given, and Matthew himself said that it is highly addictive medicine, and he stopped crying. From the very beginning, he started taking pills when he was a baby. And he himself said that when he reached the age of 14 and drank alcohol for the first time, his world changed. And right at that moment, he realizes how he can be like normal people and not feel pain anymore. Well, unfortunately, his solution was to drink alcohol, and well, Matthew can hide his addiction for years and no one will know anything. But he can do it up to a point because he's getting so bad that he's been sticking into other people's houses to see if he can find pills or something. And he's actually been stealing from their homes. And he said to himself that no one can guess that Chandler of this series does such a thing. He goes to other people's houses and steals pills. And finally, the first person in the cast of the series notices Matthew's problems, and she was none other than Jennifer himself. She goes to him and says, "I know you drink alcohol and you are actually into it." And after this, gradually everyone realized. After Jennifer, the other people and the rest of the cast of Friends realized that, and of course they all tried to talk him out of it and try to help him. And then even people noticed, especially since he lost so much weight in one season that it was clear that he has a problem. And well, everyone tried to talk to him, help him, convince him to quit, but they didn't succeed. And until the day Matthew goes to the hospital with a lot of stomach pain and his condition becomes very bad and he suffers a cardiac arrest and for 5 minutes his heart stops. They are forced to connect him to the ECMO machine. Matthew himself said in an interview that if you ask any doctor, they will all say that connecting to this device is actually one step away from death. It means that anyone who connects to this device is done, and that night 5 people were connected to the device and only Matthew survived. And after this incident, it seems that he calms himself, of course with Jennifer's help. And he himself said in an interview with the New York Times that Chandler always laughs and he is funny, and being ridiculous tries to hide his human emotions and not to feel them is not a strange thing for him, because he's been doing this for many years. But then he said that he no longer wants to continue this way of life and that he really wants to change himself. And he said that I don't want people to know me only with the Friends series when I die. And I want people to know me for the help I give to people like myself. Because Matthew decides to quit and help people who are dealing with the same problem as him. And he stays on this decision and lives behind that dark, awkward period of his life. This was today's video and I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please like it. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Until the next video, take care of yourself.